Alrighty, morning everyone, and welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on another beautiful day. In today's video I want to talk to you about whether or not it makes sense to only buy silver. And most of you are probably going to say, well, that can't really make sense, you got to diversify a little bit into other stuff. And that is true. But there's another perspective on that I want to share with you today that makes sense in my opinion, even though I didn't really act that way when I started to stack stuff, I would reckon, like metals and other kind of stuff like that. But it can actually make sense to just stack one metal. We are going to focus on silver today, but we are probably also going to do another video about gold or copper and stuff like that. And so yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. And it's actually important to understand stuff like that because there are quite a few valid arguments that suggest that it might be reasonable to only stack one metal for a specific period of time. We'll get into that right away. But before we do that, we're gonna take a look at all the stuff that I brought for you today. The first coin that I brought for you today is this £1 full sovereign from the year of 1965. Really nice coin. I really like those old British sovereigns. Problem with those is that not all of those are particularly easy to get for a reasonable stacking price, right? For a reasonable markup that would make sense where it would make sense to stack those coins just for weight. These usually do have that, but there are some older ones that don't. So you just gotta take a look and see whether or not you can find some that are reasonably inexpensive. Moving on with this very nice 1 ounce Scottsdale coin. This is the Fiji Iguana from the year of 2016. Problem with that, you can already see it. It got milk spots pretty much right away when I bought it. I think that was because of this plastic thingy that they come in, and I left it in there, and that was probably a pretty decent mistake. So don't do that, but it might also just have been not treated as carefully when it was produced or whatever. So it can have multiple reasons, but it definitely didn't happen because of anything that I did, because I stored it exactly the same way as I do with all my coins, and none of them have milk spots. So there's that. Next thing, very nice Umicore 250 gram fine silver bar. Really beautiful bars in my opinion, these nice little loaf-shaped bars, and I prefer those over those like very long minted bars, but you know, that's just kind of personal preference, I guess. And the last thing I brought is a 1 ounce Dragon and Phoenix from the year of 2017. Really beautiful Perthman coin, and I really like the series that continued with the Dragon and Tiger, and then the Dragon and Dragon, and then just a Dragon, I think. Might have mixed something up there, but I think that was what this series was. I don't know if there's actually a new one already out. Might be, but who knows. So yeah, only buying silver, only stacking silver. Why would that be a good idea? Obviously, most people would think, yeah, well, that's a little bit risky because, you know, you gotta have some other stuff just to like diversify a little bit into other things and to like not be so dependent on one specific metal. And also silver, you know, if you put a lot of money into it, it also accumulates a lot of weight. So yeah, that might also not be a great thing. But if you, for example, just getting started in stacking or something like that, it can actually make a lot of sense to only do one metal. Why is that? Well, because in general, that's also the thing that I also tell all my my friends and family if they want to start getting into investment stuff and stuff like that. Usually people want to get into everything at the same time because they really don't want to miss out on any great opportunities that might come up in one or the other thing. The problem with that is that you can't possibly, if you're just getting started, you can't possibly learn everything about everything. It's just not possible. It takes years to even know everything about one thing, let alone all of those things like stocks and cryptocurrencies and commodities like gold and silver and stuff like that. Like you can't just learn all of that in like a few weeks and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and it all just does well magically. That was 2019. That doesn't happen anymore. So that's not really something you can do nowadays. So what can you do that makes sense? Choose something, right? Choose silver, for example, and look into why silver is maybe a good thing to invest in. or to just buy and stack. I don't really like the term investing for that. It's just kind of, it's a term that I usually only use for stocks and stuff, because I'm not really investing into silver. I kind of just want the coins and the bars because I like them, right? It might be investing, yeah, by like general definition, but it's not really for me. It's just collecting and having fun with stuff that also goes up in value. So yeah, but regardless of that, silver obviously makes sense to buy because of multiple reasons. First of all, it is widely used in all kinds of industries, important industries for modern day technologies and society, I guess. So yeah, I'm not too fussed about stuff like that because I don't really care about all of these perfect new inventions and stuff like that. Can be cool, can also be stuff that I just say like, yeah, we didn't need that, did we? But anyways, we need silver for that, whether or not you like it or not. Silver is extraordinarily important for that. So, that might be a reason. Another reason might be, I want to get into maybe securing some of my financial stuff and just don't know where to put my money. I can just put it in silver and then I can sell the silver if I need it, for example. That would also be a thing that you could do. So there's that, right? And these things, all of these important things about silver, these were just two things. There's a lot of things that are important to know about silver, especially if you want to get into like collector's coins and stuff like that. And also for just your normal junk silver and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff to know. It's much more easy to just go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to, like, for example, learn everything about silver now. And when I feel confident, I'm just going to go ahead and search for something that I think is a good buy for me, right? Because you should be able to determine that very clearly, what is a good buy for you and what is not. You should not have to ask anyone. If you have to ask anyone, you didn't do enough research. That's the problem, right? If you don't know what to buy, you just shouldn't buy anything yet. And that's the problem with these things, right? Because people then go on the internet and just search, oh, what should I buy? What should I buy? What kind of stocks? What kind of metals? What should I buy? And then some dude on the internet just tells them, yeah, this is gonna go to like $1,000 an ounce or $1,000 a stock, and if it's like at $1 now, so go ahead and buy that. Like, these people don't give two frogs about whether or not you actually make money with that. They want you to maybe buy their course or whatever, right? Something that they make money on. They don't care about you. So know what you're buying, and the best way to do that if you're starting is to just focus on one thing. So that's why I think it actually can make a lot of sense to just, for example, buy silver in the beginning or just buy gold. There are some different reasons to just buy gold. We're going to talk about that in some different video that I'm going to make at some point. Today is just about silver. It makes sense to just buy silver, especially if you're getting started, because you can really focus on that and you can really do a good job of buying the stuff that's right for you. And if you don't do that, you will regret that at some point. I am very, very certain about that, because I've seen it so many times over the time that I've been stacking silver and gold for that matter, but it doesn't really matter. So that is just incredibly important. So I would reckon it makes sense, especially when you're starting, choose a metal, choose silver, for example. Find out everything about silver that is important for you to know. And then just take a look at what you can buy maybe. And if you feel like you've really got it figured out with silver, then just do something else, right? You don't have to stop doing silver, no, don't get me wrong. But just do something in addition to that if you want to. You don't have to, of course, you can buy whatever you want. And if you like silver and just want to buy silver, okay, be my guest. I don't mind that. But, that is just something you can do. So even though, yes, just buying one thing, like for example silver, can be a bit of a risk if you want to, for example, sell it in the near future, which I wouldn't suggest you do, because silver can be very volatile, that's also something that you have to learn, and that's also a reason why you should maybe focus on one thing. It makes sense, in my opinion, to focus on just one thing, for example, like silver, because it just makes it so much easier to figure out everything that's important about that very thing. But yes, as I said, it can be more risky. There can be downsides to that. There can be downsides to not diversifying enough. Certainly. But Honestly, I think it's not that bad if you compare it to maybe buying a whole bunch of stuff and just buying the wrong stuff from all of that, right? So it's less of a risk, in my opinion, to really know what you're doing with one thing that then might go down in price a little bit, or just in comparison to just not knowing anything about anything and just buying a whole bunch of stuff that was all wrong in the end because you didn't know what you were doing. I would think, in my opinion, that it would be a better idea to know your stuff about one thing and to buy that than to buy a whole bunch of stuff that you have no clue about. But hey, that's just my opinion. If your opinion is different, let me know. Let me know if you've got any more questions to that, for that matter, and in connection to like silver or maybe also other stuff. I would be very happy to answer those, as always. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like rate it with a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you might want to do. And if you want to make me happy, you can also subscribe to the channel. That would be a very, very epic thing. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, and until next time.